Xander, you created the show. You opened it up. Do it.
I don't remember the intro at all. I'm sorry.
I've been drinking.
Hello, welcome to the Dragget Show. That is Dragon and Fair together. I am Xander. This is Alkali.
Guys, for the 200th time, I'm not here!
Introduction.
So it's a spanking for every episode, right?
Funny story for that. A drunk friend of ours followed us up to our room last night and yelled at us until we fell asleep, threatening spanking. So yes. Just so you know, if you're drunk and you want your friends to go to bed, the way to not do it is to repeatedly smack their asses while they're trying to sleep. I love our friends. Guys, let's introduce some of our panelists. New to the Dragget Show, I don't believe you have ever been able to join us up on stage unless I was drunk, which I probably was. So 37th time to the Dragget Show. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Comedy Buddies!
Wait, what is your actual badge name this time?
This time it is Humor Rabbit. Yes.
Guys, this gentleman over here was the key to the success of Anthrocon tonight. Who was at Anthrocon tonight? Raise your hand. Just so you know, every single thing that happened, microphones being in place, people walking upstairs without dying, the order of the shows, this gentleman had a huge hand in that, and he decided not to go on stage just to make sure everything happened. Guys, give it up for an insanely talented individual. May I introduce you to the first time to the Dragget Show, Sparv! He's a favorite of the Dragget Show. He's been over to our house and possibly masturbated in my bed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Boozy Badger!
There is no possibly about it.
The sheets were like lead. Guys, he's been on a number of our shows. He's one of my closest friends. Every once in a while, we get together and try to come up with a Christmas CD, and then we just get drunk. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Lord Van There is a gentleman at this table that honestly, anytime I'm feeling flustered, anytime that I think I can't do it, he has been there for me. He has made sure I've gotten through it, including taking the microphone. And guys, the moment I just basically fall off a bridge, I'm not talking about suicide, I literally think that I am so uncoordinated, I'm gonna just fall off a bridge one day, but I'll be okay. I'll like float down the river for a while, I'll get hypothermia. It won't be bad hypothermia though. They're gonna take me to the hospital. They're gonna put me on a stretcher, I'm gonna fall off the stretcher because I'm kind of a retard. Then when I fall off, I'm gonna break my arm, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, a broken arm, that doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go to masturbate one day, and it's not gonna work. I'm gonna go out and get a sledgehammer to masturbate with, because that's the first thing that came to my head. I'm gonna shatter my dick, and it's gonna cause a blood clot, and it's gonna kill me. When that happens, Dragger's gonna take over for me. Guys, one of our greatest friends in the world, let's give it up for Dragger!
I couldn't have climaxed at least 3 different times during that story.
And finally, all joking aside, last night I was laying in bed and I had to think this through. There's 200 episodes. 200 episodes does not involve the fireside casts. 200 episodes does not involve the cooking with Alkali, the playing video games, the high casts.
That was fun.
Guys, I can't do any of this. I can't take any credit for this. The person responsible for the Dragget Show, the most important person in my life, guys, give it up for Xander the Blue.
Alright, since he always took care of himself, let's really hear it for the one, the only, Alkali! Yeah, it's right, good.
He always threatens.
Applause.
I get applause.
You always skip over yourself.
I don't need myself.
Oh, colors.
Oh, yes. the kid? Yeah. This is the dog.
Odie.
Unfortunately, I'm not a snake.
Are you into war? Okay.
I'm into blowjobs. What do you want from me? All right, I've been talking for a while. Let's turn it over to the table. Go.
Alkali, I would like one of those sticks with the Poo-Like butter Nutella thing.
You could melt Nutella.
You do realize Nutella's going to appear in front of you at times, and this is just your reality now.
I'm sorry, did you guys not get how it works? I made a giant routine out of peanut butter and Nutella, knowing that you guys get me gifts all the time. I'm going to either gain or lose 400 pounds this weekend. Man, that looks like a cocksucking lip routine. Routine? I forgot the...
Alright. I'm just going to go straight to Patreon questions. You can give us money and other we'll answer questions.
Lucy, you want to get in on this?
Yeah, I want to point one thing out.
I'm gonna go get
You
water.
just said that looks like a cocksucking lip routine.
Yeah.
Like literally 30 seconds before we went live, you looked at all of us and said, now guys, remember this is a PG show.
I forgot. Really quick, I just want to know, who was here for, whose line is it anyway? Who was at that panel? From the bottom of my heart, guys, we were terrified going onto the stage because it was, everything I said was 100% true. I know you guys, and I know the favorite thing in the world for you guys is to say the word dick and watch me blush. A huge props to the furry fandom, who when I gave them a challenge to keep Whose Line Is It Anyway, an improv comedy show, a show where you need to come up with something funny to say as fast as physically possible, and you kept it PG-13. All of you guys have told me that you really appreciate my improv skills, and I will tell you this right now, that night, you guys proved to me that the furry fandom is legitimately better at improv than I am, because that was insanely difficult, and you guys pulled it off. Thank you so much. I want to eat this sandwich. Xander, talk.
Alright, I'm going to go right to the Patreon question.
No, what the?
It's better this way.
That was assault. I need a napkin. Rosie, you'll be my lawyer. Ah!
Oh, I can give you
What we don't know is this is actually the amazing dance.
This is a highbrow show. First question, right here. Congrats on 200 episodes as I spit out shit out of my mouth. What will you guys do to celebrate?
Fuck. Damn it!
That's your one, Alkali. That's your one.
You know,
Bounce booties.
if you had the sands of time to rewind, you'd still be fucked. I'm just saying, you would just go over and over and still be the filthiest fucking ferret I've ever been known.
So we're just letting go of the PG-13 thing now,
I
right?
think I think I have.
Now hold on. You call me the filthiest ferret. Yeah. Yet, if you look at my Telegram chat with this man over here, there is no way. I don't hold a candle to this law professional. Do not open up that Telegram channel.
You already know what Alkali sent me at 2:04 in the morning on July 3rd. Yeah! Would it be acceptable to mail my fans a t-shirt covered in jizz? Delicately folded and wrapped in a eucalyptus leaf. The panda who picked the eucalyptus leaf, apparently there's a panda, would have urinated on the leaf, of course. But the main question still is, can I mail t-shirts covered in cum?
I personally.
Oh, we're not done.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't advertise they were covered in cum or anything. I am definitely not an idiot. No, I would simply surprise mail jizz-covered t-shirts through the U.S. Postal Service. Guys, I was awake at 2:04 a.m. on July 3rd. My phone dinged, I read the message, I said nope, and went to bed.
Some lawyer you are, I want my retainer back.
Never paid me.
I didn't say I paid you, I literally put my retainer in your pocket when you visited me.
Strangely enough, yesterday, the U.S. Postal Service sent me a notice that I had a delivery from Chicago.
Did you like the t-shirt? Also remember, Pandez is a panda with a very large bladder.
I want you to know those mail trucks are not air conditioned.
I can always rely on Dragget to double down on stupid.
Alright, here's the first of the night. Anyway.
God, I hope you died.
Thanks. How do we celebrate the 200th episode?
Oh right, that was a question.
Yes.
Wait, Alkali. Does your favorite pizza place do the pizza?
Okay, I'm actually gonna go with a what?
There's a place in Chicago, I've encountered it a couple of times, and you can order a pizza. Not like the stupid Little Caesars commercial, they actually mean it. So like if you order a 16-inch, you get a 14-inch on top of it. Like
Pizza
Wait.
section.
Des, you are never allowed to say the double-decker again.
I've been to Britain. I can say double-decker. I'm gonna shove this buff right in him.
Wow.
So, I do have a favorite pizza place. It makes my favorite pizza. But, what they're referring to is my drug. There is a pizza place that is 20 minutes away from me. Now, you have to remember, 20 minutes in Chicago means 20 minutes when I go. Normally, I don't know, 17 years because traffic in Chicago is awful. I'm pretty sure it's because of that hearse with 5 people in it. But the problem with this place is, it is only 3 or 4 minutes from the house I grew up in. And they have a taco pizza. You need to understand something. Now, I have seen taco pizzas before, and because of this taco pizza, I have ordered them, and I've never been satisfied. This taco pizza, and they explained it to me, it is because every day they go out and they get the freshest ingredients. Fresh lettuce, tomato, black olive, which he picks off, and then I put it on mine, and my pizza looks really racist. But it is the best taco pizza. But since I can only have it every so often, I make sure they don't come with me when I go pick it up. So last time I ordered it, I came home like, hey guys, taco pizza. And they finished the pizza. And when they went in the kitchen, there was another pizza. And Miko, my roommate Miko, he looked at me and he's like, did you order 2 taco pizzas? And I could honestly say no. Because the 3rd one was in the car, the 4th one was hidden in my bedroom, and the 5th one was in the fridge because I had room for it there.
You know, you let one taco pizza in, and before you know it, you're swarming with taco pizzas on this website.
You are really from Chicago.
No.
Holy shit.
build a wall around that pizza joint.
God damn it. All right.
Oh, speaking of the wall, hey Boozy, how's our dealer's table going, asshole?
Okay, so a couple days ago, we're sitting in the green room and I am taking a dump because that's and Anthrocon's Twitter account said we have dealer's tables available. So from the toilet, I yell, hey Alkali, do you want to get a dealer's table?
And I yelled, are you shitting?
I said yes. And then we went and got a dealer's table. We are splitting the dealer's table, except they miscalculated. It's not a full table, it's a half table, so we each have a quarter of the table. And we both have stuff, so I have created a demarcated zone between our 2 merchandising sections that we are now referring to as the wall.
And what is represented representing that wall,
The
Jose?
wall is represented by this cane, this wonderful cane.
That wonderful
This beautiful
cane.
that Alkali helped pay for. Folks, I have built a wall and I made the Dragget show pay for it.
God.
I do have to admit, I was actually a little excited. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be sitting with the table of bluesy all day. This should be really fun. But I never anticipated the amount of fun we have until Kage caught me in the hallway and talked to me. Apparently, there was a complaint that went from the dealers to the operation dealers then to the operations director all the way up to Kage to the people sitting around and said that they are really loud. So next year, just so you know, Kage has told me, just pay for an end camp and get away from everyone.
It might have been when I was yelling, "Are you trying to keep out DS13?" Might have been.
The best part about that, though, is meeting all of your fans as well, including the girl who walked up and told Xander very nicely, "I've heard all of your shows. I'm a really big fan." And she's sitting there, and she's saying this, and finally I'm looking at her and I go, "How old are you?" And she goes, "I'm not even 16." And walks on. I looked over at Xander and I said, "Oh, this is going to be a fun story to tell out there." But you know, I can't say much because, honey, where are the kids? Immediately after I say that, the little one in the blue shirt there, my darling 9-year-old daughter, looks at the table and says, "I've heard every fucking episode." What I'm getting at is when Children and Youth calls you guys next week, she would have never heard of me. Okay?
I do want to let you guys know, let's get into the creative process. This was a real conversation between me and him before we recorded an episode. "Hey, Alkali, welcome home. It's really good to see you." Like, you want me to record an episode, don't you? Because that's how it works. When I get home from work, it's like, we're either recording or I'm murdering you. That's legit. Goes, "Hey, dude, we really need to be careful on this episode." The last episode, after I went back and listened to it, we were pretty rushed. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. The first line of that episode was Xander sitting down, and we had to take his outtake. Like, "Hey, welcome to the Dragget show," and, cunt, I got it wrong. Like, that's your choice of swear? That is not the right swear to use.
It's fun in Australia. All right. That's right. Do not go through the hallway saying that. Okay.
Like saying it's fine in Australia?
Yes, that's just the worst.
That's how we're going to terrify Kage. Guys, from now on, if you see Kage walking, don't direct it at him. Don't say it to him. Just say it to a random person walking past you, but loud enough for him to hear. "Dude, it's fine in Australia. It's fine in Anthrocon." I cannot wait for this post-con phone call. No.
Chris.
Dude, he didn't show up for his mom playing Cards Against Humanity. He sure as fuck isn't showing up to the Dragget show.
What? Did you even know?
Oh, he found out halfway through and didn't believe anyone. He's like, "My mother would never do that." And I sent him a small video clip of his mother going, "Vaginal impregnation." I'm not getting invited back.
All right. Chris, Barf, and Dez, you are in charge of helping us celebrate our 200 episodes. What do you do?
Run.
That's the question. I'm hypothetical.
I'm letting them go first.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Celebrating a 200 episode, that's a big occasion.
Okay.
Like a really big occasion, right?
Okay.
What about, go-go dancers?
I like go-go dancers. Okay.
Alright, so we got go-go dancers. Jagger, can you do go-go dancers?
I I mean, I can be one.
You want to be a go-go dancer right now?
Oh.
I'm gonna die. We're done with that now.
Guys, let's give it up for the AV team, Mackie and Willem!
Give me my money back. I want a refund.
Hold on. I do apologize. It's very loud up on the stage. I don't know what song you just played for our stripper. I heard one note. Did you guys just play You Don't Have to Take Your Clothes Off to Have a Good Time?
I know the song.
What was it?
It's called Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People.
Mackie, did he get it right?
Pumped up kicks.
Yep.
100 Dragget Show points!
Wait. I have to pay taxes. Oh. Is that Pittsburgh tax? Okay.
No, we're tax.
Oh! Okay.
Spark, we're celebrating our 200th episode. How do you help?
Nipple clamps.
I mean,
Circle takes the square.
one for each 100 episodes. This is, yeah.
I want to see where you put them for 300.
Belly button. It's an Audi on Xander.
On a very special Dragget.
Can I put one on?
No! You already have 100 Dragget Show points. Leave it at that, buddy.
I don't want to exchange them for
Dad.
I'm not going to give the actual answer. I'm going to do a throwback.
Okay.
Let's see if you can guess what I'm referring to, because this is going back a little bit. Go!
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Same thing, guys.
There's just a really dark fursuiter that kind of looks like the devil right now, and he just went like this. So now I know what happens when I fall off that gurney.
But, before we started doing Three-Headed Monster,
Okay.
I was still doing open mic.
Yes.
And I did an open mic at For Reality.
Yes!
And I said, one day, when I finally lose my virginity, I'm not actually going to say anything about it. I'm just going to go on Twitter and just go, and that's it.
It gets super confusing during the World Cup.
Oh, I know.
Please tell me that when you did, you ran outside in all your glory and slid on your knees.
I was already on my knees.
Oh, boy. Okay, question 2. For fuck's sake, we're never going to get through all these.
Hold on, what time is it? Is we're on question 2?
Keep going. No, actually, we have an hour and a half, I think.
No shit.
I think so.
Holy crap, I think programming likes us.
All right. Tyro.
Hi, Tyro.
Okay, basically,
Basically, that's
It's a
never
long
good when he
question.
says basically.
we're just saying 200 episodes, you guys are great, blah, blah, blah. I'm kidding.
That's the party
Thank
skips
you.
over.
But seriously, what is the one moment in the show's history where you either laughed, cried, or both the most? Basically, what's the most memorable thing of this show?
I actually have an answer to that, and it has nothing to do with us. We, like kids, you know how you say, oh, I don't have a favorite episode. Just like you, we're lying.
Yeah.
He totally has a favorite.
Oh, they know this. I told them, I don't have a favorite. I have an elaborate scoring system. And the one that's in the lead right now knows about it.
You're either the best or the worst father.
With the high score, stand up, please.
They don't know. I'll bet you, oh, there it is.
Is that points awarded or lost?
They gotta keep them competitive. Yeah, otherwise they end up being stockbrokers in Chicago instead of bond traders on Wall Street.
Love you too. There is an episode out there. that we recorded. As you know, we have a small sound stage we built in our basement. My house is a little old, so you can hear everything through the house. When we record, we usually tell our roommate Miko. You guys know Miko from the Fireside Cast, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's give it up for Miko. He wanted to be here, he could not make it. But on this night, we did not tell him that we were recording an episode because we just kind of were sitting there and got angry. It's like, no, we're just gonna be funny now. And we went to us, like, this isn't gonna work. We can't, like, we want to be in the mood to do an episode. We want to do it when we feel like it. And that was the night with, what's the artist's name?
Andy Warhol?
Andy Warhol.
Andy Bleepin' Warhol.
Andy Bleeping Warhol. You need to understand, this gentleman does all the editing for the videos. Now, we have a rule, unless we have to cut it, we do not edit our videos except for one thing, and it's my fault, and that's volume level. He has to go through and listen to our episodes for when I do this into a microphone! And it's really bad. Well, apparently I was doing that all night, and the next morning, like, we had like, oh, I think it was a pretty good episode. The next morning we woke up, and Miko, eyes totally bloodshot, giant bags under his eyes, drooling on himself that had nothing to do with his lack of sleep. He's just into that. But he went, wow, you guys must have had a great episode last night. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You wouldn't shut the hell up. We were screaming downstairs on that episode, I'm Andy goddamn Warhol! He had to edit the whole thing for volume control because we were having such a good time. And to this day, I will never forget that episode just for the fact that every once in a while, the microphones melt away, all of our equipment is gone, and it's just me and the man I love having a conversation, and we got to share that with all of you, and Andy Warhol was the epitome of those moments.
By the way,
Anyway, you're not getting away with that
no,
shit.
no, actually, it's speaking of which, so I don't know how that works.
Speaking of
This is actually related. Someone posted a picture of it. You know what's upstairs? There's a painting of?
What?
3 fucking ketchup bottles. Alright then, fucking Warhol.
All right, we're
I need a
stealing
picture
this.
with those ketchup bottles.
We need a picture with that later.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
There's an Andy Warhol museum and bridge just down the street.
Oh my god!
We're not allowed to jump. We're not allowed to jump.
We're getting turtlenecks, we're getting wigs and glasses. You're all walking through here saying, we are Andy fucking Warhol.
The Million Dragget Show March. We are Warhol. We are Warhol. What are they protesting? I don't know. Iraq? Who the hell cares?
Are they saying we are narwhals? Is that-
Narwhals living in the ocean.
Warhols, making lots of paintings.
He is into saying things. That's Satan, but weird.
No, he's into sounding.
Alright. Ow!
Dragor, I'm not allowed to look in your art book anymore. Smart, you look like you have something to say.
No, I don't. Not in the slightest.
If these microphones run out of batteries, I have some.
All right, here we go. You ready? We're going to start over there with Chris the Comedy Bunny, one sentence at a time. Chris, you're going to start it. Ready?
Okay.
FA porn involving narwhals. Go.
Wait, what'd you say?
FA for a reality. Okay, good. For infinity. Sure. For infinity porn involving narwhals, one sentence at a time. Chris the Comedy Bunny, go.
Giant horn shoving into someone's anus.
Spark, your turn. Go.
Giant horns caressing each other.
Oh.
Dragger, go.
It was like a ballet. It was on point.
Xander, go.
The sexiest shish kebab.
I learned in biology, only the females have the horn, which was weird because this one had two. A walrus had joined in. Hey guys, go!
Clawhauser, I can hold your donut somewhere.
Boozy, go!
My children are in the audience.
Can somebody draw that and title it that? That's my children in the audience.
But Boozy, they've listened to all 200 fucking episodes.
Chris, what's the
I
real?
never get to look at them while I say this shit.
Chris, what's the real narwhal porn you saw?
My current phone background for Telegram, you can set backgrounds on phone, so you can set different conversations. Well, I set Alkali's background for our Telegram conversation as a really sexy narwhal in lingerie laying on a bed, like as a dakimakura. It looks really, it's got a nice little, it's got its like second brassiere hanging off its horn. It's very eloquent.
Very nice. Okay.
Hold on, I think Spark has something to say. Spark?
Second brazier.
I just googled sexy narwhal and you guys would not believe it. Hey, look, we got a slave laying narwhal.
Wait, slave
Slave laying narwhal.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Hey babe, are you feeling horny yet? Oh my god. None of this is linking back to fur affinity either. There's just some random people out there who are just drawing like trailer trash dolls.
Slave lay narwhal, she could. Slave lay narwhal, she could choke my Java.
Oh my, this is all on Etsy store.
Damn it, Xander!
This is all one person's Etsy store.
It's an Etsy store? Hold on.
I can get a lingerie narwhal keychain.
Can we rewind and
Only 100 Dragget points.
Haley Cassidy, I don't know who the hell you are, but I'm buying from you from now on.
That's a Regretsy store.
Regret seed. We have a new business, Alkali. Regret seed. It's just Alkali stuff.
Do you guys?
No, he's got a point. Go ahead, Jaguar.
Do you think the narwhals got angry at the stingrays for killing Steve Irwin? Like it was taking over their jam and it started a surf and turf war?
Good lord, man.
Surf and turf war! Son of a bitch! I want to let all of you know we have an hour of this left. Feel free, the door has not moved since we started. Legitimately, thank you for everyone who is here. This is Anthrocon, and this is the guys. This is our 200th episode. This is so cool. Thank you so much for being here. This is insane.
And now, Fraser said, you know, all porn, stop it right now. Speaking of which, that fan, Shukin Flash. Here's his
Hi,
question.
Shukin. Hi, Shukin.
What's one of your favorite Dragon Show memories? One of each. Everyone on the table says your favorite moment from the show, basically. I
Oh
said
my God, I so want both of you to say I've never listened to your show, you fat fuck. So, Chris, what's your answer?
I have never listened to your show, you fat fuck.
Yes!
To be fair though, I have been on the Dragon Show once, but I didn't even listen to that episode.
Spark, what is your answer?
I only cared enough about the time Boozy was on the video stream.
Thank you, sir.
Dragon?
We were prepping for a high cast, the first I was part of, and we're down there and giggling like idiots, and at one point, we actually asked, Xander, is it recording? And it goes dead silent, and all he says is, fuck!
Yes, thank you.
Boozy?
Alkali's fucked up. screen not too long ago. That's all my fucking chat talked about was your fucked up.
Father, is that what you do for a living?
How is it getting heckled by your own?
No, but I wanted to.
Sweetie, you're at number 1 now.
I've always wondered, what is it like to get heckled by your own kids?
Probably the same as getting the Muppet of getting.
I'm going to assume you meant getting a blowjob by a Muppet, which I can guarantee you is not the same thing. Kermit is woefully underskilled. I do not appreciate that. Oh my God, Des, we need you over for the voiceover on Sex Night next week.
You got a frog in your throat? No, other way around.
Holy shit, Boozy!
I'm gonna ruin the Muppets for your kid.
I really hope that your kids get asked a Muppets question in school one day. Oh, the guy who gives the terrible blowjobs?
I'm going to jail.
No, Kermit is. It's not easy being green, dude. And your favorite silly moment.
Both parts of the highcast. That was, we were just giggling and laughing.
Oh, that's right. Legitimately, I was so high, I forgot that he was emceeing the original highcast.
I was emceeing because I was lower. You were higher.
Because you are smarter.
Oh, Jesus.
And randomly, at the end of the first part, we were singing, and at the beginning of the second part, we were singing, and it matched up, even though there were 2 different songs. So it's how did that work out?
Do you guys want to know a secret?
Yes.
We're working on a project.
Does it involve
Fuck tubs? No.
T-shirts?
No, it does not involve the gin shirts. The gin shirts is a later project.
Dragget show glow-in-the-dark shirts don't have to.
Holy shit, we're so we doesn't do it next year. Samuel, we need to look it up. We need to find out if we can get splotchy glow in the dark and not fucking tell anyone anything. You wear it all day, you go into your room, you turn off the light, you're like, what the shit is going on? Oh my God, I was there for 200th episode, no!
I think I found out your gift wrapped here.
Yes, that is something you can get.
Guys, Spark has been, we're running a lot of panels tonight. I think there's another one to go to. Guys, let's give a huge round of applause for a good friend of mine, the amazing, intelligent Spark!
I have my own mic now. I would do nothing with it.
So, Miko is buying us a gift. If you follow the Dragget Show, if you're part of our Patreon, you'll know that we have a new tier, or we're working on a new tier. I actually don't know what you do with the Patreon. Okay, Xander is making a new tier, because obviously, we're here to make you laugh, we're here to make you entertained. The highcast thing is a one-shot. We don't plan on doing that a lot. That's not how good comedy happens. That's basically you laughing at us while we laugh at us so we can sort of laughing with you. But Miko realized that when we sit in the garage, this genius comedian over here likes to repeat himself in very weird ways, because one day we were sitting in the garage and he just went, Xander, 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 and Miko went, the blue, the blue, the blue, the blue. And of course, me being the perverted sick fuck I am, like, suck cock, suck cock. Miko has bought us a repeater. We have no idea how this is going to turn out, or if it's going to get set on fire the next time we decide to smoke. Because we're kind of stupid. But our goal is to put out a CD for you guys. And we're going to call it The High Loop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's just going to be us with a repeater and way too much time on our hands.
Get Pepper on the line for that.
We asked Pepper. He said we don't have enough weed.
I have another Patreon question. Hey, question. Sarah Thin.
Hi, Sarah Thin.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah Thin. How are you?
If you could have a huge 200 episode party,
What the shit, guys?
it's all about parties. What would you do for it as far as food, entertainment, and etc.? Etc.
Food, entertainment, and etc. Well, we would need Excedrin.
So now you're catering the party, I guess.
Okay, you're the caterers.
Taco
You're the
pizzas,
caterers.
obviously.
No,
They
hidden
multiply.
taco pizza.
Hidden taco.
One of them was under the bed.
No, Chippy.
Chippies. Oh, hell yeah.
What kind of cheese?
Find the hors d'oeuvre with the roofie.
Oh my god, hold on, Susie, you would know this. Isn't there a cake that's supposed to have a little baby inside of it, and if you get the baby, you have to buy the next cake?
Yes.
What is that?
Baby cake.
Baby? No, that's not baby cake. What is it?
It's called the king cake.
The
Rose
king
de
cake.
Reyes or something like that.
What if we changed out the baby for a roofie?
What?
Dude, you're gonna buy all the cakes if you're unconscious.
You just wake up and just rip me on you with jizz. You won.
Oh my god, I've been asleep for 2 days. What happened? Absolutely nothing. That's great. Can I see my credit card bill? Dunkin' Donuts, $43,000. I wanted the Shamu cake. A cake the size of Shamu. I would eat it.
No one's gonna ever eat your cakes ever again. You realize that?
Hold on. Have we talked about the fail cake?
No.
Do they not
No, they
know?
don't know about the fail cake.
Oh, guys, there is a forever unaired episode of Cooking with Alkali. Because I failed at a cake. And we're not talking about I made a cake and it didn't taste good. No, I blew up a cake in my kitchen. No, because the worst part is, I told Xander, it's like, hey, stop the recording. I'm going to build the first 3 layers, and we'll come back and we'll show them the last layer because it's just repetitive bullshit. I don't want the. So we built 3 layers of the cake. You guys know what a carbon cupcake is? No. A carbon cupcake is a Guinness infused cupcake, a Irish whiskey infused ganache inserted into the center, and a Bailey's buttercream top. And I used to make these all the time in grade school, which is really weird, and I need to talk to my parents. Like, they just gave me booze like, oh, this is adorable. He's cooking, and his class got arrested for a DUI. But I made a Irish carbon cake. Now, the buttercream frosting I made in the classic way. Butter and powdered sugar, and while building it, I didn't realize the cake was still slightly warm. So we built the cake, left the room, and came back, and there was melted Bailey's buttercream frosting everywhere. Dripping off my counters, onto the floor, and I'm fat, so the first thing he said is, you will use a mop and not your tongue.
Not the first time he said that.
But the kicker, the part that kills me is, I was building the cake, the buttercream, and I was going to top it with the ganache. I was going to top it with a mirrored glaze finish. So I was like, I got angry. I said, screw it. I took the bottle of it. I just dumped it. I had a cake tray. You know what a cake tray is? It's a flat surface and a dome top. I took the flat surface and winged it across the room, and because it was flat, it was like a frisbee, and it curved around and hit the wall, kind of where it threw the dildo. So there's yet another reason there should be a hole in that wall. I took the top of the cake tray, turned it upside down, and just scraped the cake into it, and then poured the mirror glaze on top and put it in the fridge. 4 hours later, we celebrated Nico's birthday. And I pulled the cake out of the fridge and I threw it at him and I said, "Here." And his response was, "What is this?" And I gave him the story I just gave you, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he put his fork in, and he looked at me and said, "You've made a grave mistake." I said, "Why?" He says, "This is the best cake I've ever had in my life." In my fridge currently is a monstrosity of the top of a cake tin with 10 forks in it, because we've just been taking one scoop going, "That's delicious and rich," and just throwing the fork into the top. I'm fairly certain I watched Xander sneak into the kitchen, take a piece of cake with a fork attached to it, and go, "That's fine," and just eat around the fork. Because when you're hungry, you're an idiot.
Don't touch me!
That's on me, 6-1.
No.
Alkali just reminded me, I have about 12 half cakes in my fridge I need to do something with.
I'll take them.
Explain what a half cake
I'm
is.
fatter than you, dibs.
Okay, so a lot of my friends back home, we all have birthdays pretty close to one another, and every birthday we go to, we always have the actual cake that's for eating, and then the prop cake, which you can do anything with, because it's just fun to have a prop cake. Sometimes people eat it, sometimes people throw it, sometimes people pretend to fuck it, and then we eat it.
Wait. How sure are you on the pretend part?
We just don't think about it, we eat it. That's right. And so the frosting is homemade, actually homemade.
Really homemade.
And so what ends up happening is I always wind up with the spare cake because no one wants the cake. So I come home, my roommate, who's essentially a houseplant, says, "Brought another cake?" And I go, "Yeah." And I throw it in the bag, and I throw it in there, and then we do nothing with it because it's just more fucking cake. Well, my landlord came over the other day, and she was like, "How's it going?" I was like, "Hey, you want something to eat?" You know, just she was visiting. And I opened up the door, and I look like the fattest motherfucker on the planet. Because all that's in there is like some expired vegetables and a fuck ton of cake. And she looks at me and she's like, "Could I have some cake?" And I'm like, "No, it's all mine." I slam the door and I kick her out.
I need to say the first time I met this man, the very first time, was at a convention that's no longer around right now. I believe it was,
GLFC.
yes, Great Lakes Furcon. And the first time I met him, I was with Uncle Kage at the time, and we saw on the schedule there was a vaudeville performance. And we went, it was like, "Oh my God, we are huge fans of vaudeville. We have to go to a panel, but we gotta see some of this." And we walk into the room, and they're doing a near perfect rendition. You and your friend did a near perfect rendition of Who's on First. And we loved it. We thought it was so cool, but we had to leave for a panel. We go to a panel, and are sitting down later with the con chairman when a call comes over the radio. "This is security. We finally cleaned up all the cake from the vaudeville panel. Man, chocolate stains walls." Me and guy like, "Oh, it's such a wholesome performance. What happened?" And the con chairman, without missing a beat, got out, looked us both in the eyes, and said, "It got really out of hand and really carcinogen." And that was his exact words. Really carcinogen.
Okay, one of my favorite things was I did one other vaudeville performance at MCFC, and I was at another panel. I think it was actually here, and they were doing con horror stories, and they were doing rapid fire, and Ed just goes, "Here's a thing. We have 2 shirtless men throwing pies at one another. Don't worry, it's been handled, and they won't be back." And I remember being in the audience for that panel and going, "Someone's stealing my shtick." and then I thought, "Oh shit, that was me."
All right, this has been bothering me this whole friggin' weekend.
What?
To be fair, there was...
Hey, I'm blind. Stop appropriating my culture.
prom dress, asshole.
Right.
To be fair, they came with the drink at the bill. If you buy it, you get sunglasses, but there's not a lot of sun in here. I don't see it all that often.
Let's hold for a second there. My culture's not your prom dress?
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
I yelled at about everything.
You went to a really weird prom.
I did. Well, actually, my prom. I went to my prom, and I'm so excited to tell the story.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I went to my prom, and I was like, it's all right. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I go to the bathroom. I open up the door. It's this really small, rinky-dink door. And I open the door, and this dude's going at this chick, and he's like, really, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, I got a shit.
You are my hero.
And the girl goes, oh my God, 1 minute. And the guy's like, dude. And I was like, dude, I got a shit. There's no other bathroom. And he's like, can you give it a fucking minute? They didn't stop for a beat. Just, And I'm like, all right. I shut the door. I walk back down. I sit like, hey, do you have a bathroom? I'm like, no, there's 2 people fucking in the bathroom. I guess I'm going to wait.
Guys, let's give it up for prom.
You did. All right. Catch your stereo. How many episodes? This is for Boozy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for anyone really, but I want you to know what you think.
Yeah.
How many episodes do you think we will reach with the Dragget Show?
Well, now that we've got them
Educated guess.
after that story,
Oh, yeah.
oh, you're gonna be banned from everywhere.
PG-13.
You're done, motherfucker.
We were like 16 at the prom.
How was the Dragon Show's 200th episode? Oh, it was fine. We sat up on stage, talked about how nice it was. Then we told a story about underage sex in the bathroom.
Like you do.
As one does, in a room of minors.
Now, everyone might think something bad will happen on 420, and all that's really going to happen is there's going to be a long, sleepful, restful gap.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I fear what you'll do at 666. I think Alkali's been planning. Look at the look on his face. He's like, don't spoil it, don't spoil it. I have been practicing pagan rituals, don't spoil it.
I don't need to practice pagan rituals. Look, pagan rituals were all about you do this ritual and then something insane happens. I'm part of the fur community. Trust me, magic is not as insane as furries. We've got them beat.
I'm just praying that we do not hit episode 911. Because he's going to be like, Xander, I know! I'm like, no!
The good thing is if you do, it'll be one to remember.
Xander, I hope you hit episode 911 twice.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, just turning off our lights doesn't mean we stop talking.
We're not like parents.
That's 2,000 fun!
All right.
Shelly.
Hi, Shelley.
All right, so I've heard rumors that you guys want to do a big meetup with all your fans at some point. What do we, your patrons, have to do to make this a reality?
Get me drunk enough that I rent the campsite. So we've actually been working on, as you guys know, I play LARP, it's Nero. We have access to a lot of campsites all over the country, and there's a few of them that I've talked to, like, we would love to have your fans out here, and I said, no, you wouldn't. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, here's episode 129 of the Dragget Show, and 2 weeks later they come back to us like, we don't know you and your band. But one day we're gonna find a campsite for us all to get together. We're gonna have a giant event, and all it's going to be is a giant celebration of the creativity of the fur community. And what that means, we are going to swear for 3 days straight. Wait. But honestly, that's the beauty of of what we do. Every once in a while, I'll introduce somebody new to the furry fandom, and of course, what does anyone in the furry fandom, anyone who's being introduced to the furry fandom do? They go and they dig up and they find those moments. We all know those moments, like, oh no, we found that episode of MTV's bullshit. We found that episode of this. I'm like, okay, dig literally an inch deeper. And then they start figuring out what we are and what we do. They're like, oh my God, we would love to have you guys out here. I'm like, okay, just so you know, those episodes of the things, that's still a little part of us, just so you know. Like, I'll be the first one to admit it. There's a reason that all that shit happened. You know why? Because old furries are perverts. It's wonderful. But we have this wonderful new generation that came in like, oh, we're here for the creativity. We're here for the charity. And those old guys are fucking at prom.
Kids, how you doing down there?
What have you done?
Hey, dude, this entire show, 200 episodes, has all been based off the idea I never want to babysit Boozy's kids. So far, so good.
Beat Sesame Street.
I have another question. Anyway.
We're making Dragget. No, we're making Xander answer this one.
What?
Xander, answer this question.
Fine. All right, Skylar.
Hi, Skylar. Xander, answer this question.
All right, 200 episodes, great for reflection. Looking back over the years, how have you and the community around your show grown?
Holy shit.
Well, we've gotten fatter. So, is that?
I got skinnier. Stop making
Yeah.
thinner real.
I'm sure some of them grew by at least a couple inches.
Yeah.
I heard the applause coming over there. I thought it was Boozy's kids like, I'm bigger.
Okay, how is our community growing? We have an amazing fan base. You guys are freaking amazing, and it's really too much. And you're also all insane, which is why it's so fucking fun.
Yeah.
That's the only way you'll get us to watch your show.
That's true. That's true.
There are people out there who have taken a look at our Telegram chat. And we're talking about people who have their own Telegram chat with hundreds of people following them, and they go into their Telegram and they're sending me snippets. They're like, these two people are trying to murder each other. In this part, they gave each other their addresses. In this part, they're having a knife fight. And they go over to our chat and it's just like, this is kind of porn, but really not. Okay, fine. And our chat is just like this area of peace and love and happiness, and theirs is like the Holocaust, but furry style, so just gay.
Wow.
What? The internet is a scary place.
Anyway.
Did you guys see the protest outside of the...
I heard about them.
Somebody came up to me at breakfast and said they're protesting outside of Fernando's. I looked at them and I said, who's protesting outside of Fernando's? They said some people with pink vests, and they're marching, and there were signs, and they're really angry, they're talking about God and Jesus. And I said, you know there's a Planned Parenthood clinic like 4 doors down, right? Because they're not protesting Fernando's. Those are the assholes that protest Planned Parenthood. I mentioned this to Alkali, and this asshole looks at me and goes, yeah, but what's really on their pizza?
Fernando's has expanded. It's a bold new business plan.
Playing pizza.
Flag! Oh my god!
Playing pizza.
How would you celebrate your freedom from responsibility pizza night?
You can't have just one trimester.
Yeah, oh wait, when you get your little pizza, there's a little cross on it too.
Wait, you have to watch a video about how pizza's made before you're allowed to eat it.
No! We shove it in the oven.
What do you want? I'm going to give you just a few of cheese.
Oh my god! Oh!
That's cheese.
Oh!
Apple juice like you did in Chicago?
Well, Dad, is alcohol drinking apple juice like you did in Chicago?
Yes, sweetie.
It's very Irish apple juice.
Handcrafted Westport apple juice.
Westport apple juice cast in a classic blend of Irish apple juice, containing the finest grain and malt apple juice. Handcrafted using hand-selected apples and matured in applesauce casks to deliver the authentic and unique quality. 40% alcohol, apples by volume.
I just want to see that stereotype flipped on its head, like, hey, where's the frickin' apple juice?
That's legitimately my favorite episode of Futurama. There's a 3-part episode where President Nixon has to edit an episode of G.I. Joe to be safe for TV. Holy crap, I cry. And like to this day, I laugh so hard I cry at that episode. Just for the quick changes of the most terrible things to like hugs.
I can't go on yet, sorry. Stall.
What about bathroom stalls?
No, we already went over that.
I know what happens in bathroom
Oh
stalls.
my God, is this real, Des?
Do you want me to tell the story?
Yes.
So real quick, I got here after registration closed. And I happened to run into Uncle Kage in the hallway. He's like, my boy, good to see you. Did you get your badge? And I'm like, no, unfortunately, I missed registration. There's one panel, I'm hoping they'll let me in. And he goes, follow me. So we go to Con Ops, where my costume that I'm hoping to get into later is, as well as all my luggage, because I walked straight here from my car. And he sits down and he scribbles on a piece of paper and he hands it to me. And it says, this is a badge. He gets in. If any questions, call the chairman, signed Uncle Kage. So this is my badge for tonight. It's smiley face. No, that's smiley face, yeah. So if anyone comes to me and is like, are you supposed to be in this panel? If any questions, call the chairman.
What? That's a big performer ribbon.
It's basically he's saying he's a panelist, let him in. You know, like,
Yes.
it basically, he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't pre-read.
Gotcha.
Because I could pull up the email on my phone. I'm like, I paid. I just didn't realize we closed at 6.
All right, I got another question. Erner
Erner the artist.
Yes, Erner makes this amazing art. Thank you so much.
There is a very good chance that Erner is going to be creating the cover of the Best of the Dragget show, episodes 101 through 200. So, Erner, if you're, I don't know if you're in the audience, I don't think you could make this.
No, he wasn't here.
Okay.
So, Erner, if you're ever watching this, thank you for everything that you do for us. You're amazing.
Right now.
Very good. And every copy of that CD will be signed in Glow in the Darkness. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Congrats on reaching 200 episodes. Your show, your Telegram chat has helped me to meet some truly wonderful people and continues to help me grow as an artist with your adorable bullshit.
I've
Thanks.
never been called adorable.
Wait, that's the best slogan I've ever heard. The Dragget Show. Adorable bullshit.
Yes! Wait. What was it again? Was it like bad comedy and worse sex or something? What? Do you remember this one? No?
I
Am
think
I
it's-
just dreaming this? All right.
I don't remember breakfast.
Okay.
Was it French toast?
It came with apple juice.
Yes. All right, sorry. Here we go. What's your favorite thing about your audience? And is it finally time for the blood ritual?
To this day,
Hold on,
when
everyone
we're
else is confused. But that's
When
okay.
we are if you don't know the story, every once in a while, when I am just done with work, I'll come home and he's like, hey, do you want to do anything like? I say, no, I am going to go into the garage, I am going to play the stupidest video game I can find, and I am going to smoke something that looks like a cigarette, but definitely is not. And he sat behind me one night Well, I'm playing this video game. It's just a matching game. There's a lot of, hopefully a lot of strategy involved, but I was high, so probably not. I might not have even had the TV on. And at one point, to do my power move, I casted, and it came up on the screen, The Blood Ritual. And from behind me, and I didn't know he was in the room, I just heard this. Yes, the blood ritual. Oh, the blood ritual. The blood ritual. The blood ritual. The blood ritual. And we said those words, and just those 3 words, for what I'm assuming was one weekend.
Our garage is outside and not connected to the house. It's kind of close to our neighbors. So what the hell do you think our neighbors are doing in the goddamn garage, for fuck's sake?
We have, bear in mind, obviously, when I bought this house, there was a lot of problems with it. One of the problems was these light fixtures on the outside of the garage were just ugly and horrid, and I took them off, and then I got lazy, and I didn't fill them in. So there's these 2, like, holes in the garage about this big. I'm pretty sure they're standing outside just huffing, like, oh, that's the shit.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I went after the Firecast stream, I noticed that your neighbor had bricked up the back door that open source your house. Was that before or after they heard you screaming the blood ritual in your garage?
Same day.
What do you think of? I don't know, sweetie, go get some fucking mortar. We ain't risking it.
This is a legitimate thing me and Kage worry about at each other's cons, because we always threaten each other. Like, he has a huge following. Myself and Xander have a respectable following. But it's enough that if a bunch of us show up to closing ceremonies, we can just take over. So I'm just saying, and this is a joke, don't do it. But if the whole audience just started chanting the blood ritual and I just left,
Why is my daughter screaming the blood ritual?
what is it your wife? You got it!
Alright.
I don't know about you guys, but I pictured the whole audience as penguins screaming.
Hold on, why are these penguins?
Because they're bloodthirsty, flightless birds.
They just gather around a hole in the ice, one of them pushes another one into the sea line.
Alright. We got cultist penguins going on. This is beautiful.
And no, we are not making a Telegram channel called The Blood Ritual. They have enough reason. No!
Somebody make that Telegram chat and invite us.
Alright, hold on. Are you actually creating it? I am putting one stipulation. I am putting a stipulation on this, guys. Who here knows D&D, LARPing, roleplaying? You guys know that, okay? Alright, we are making this chat. It's going to be called The Blood Ritual. It is totally in character. If you post in that chat, remember the blood ritual is 100% real, but we don't talk about it. Someday, someone is going to find that chat and join it and leave this planet. This is how we get to Mars.
On a galactic starship.
These things happen. Xander?
Anyway. Alright, we have one last one. From Legion Buddy. Wait, what?
Hi, Legion Buddy.
And it is simply.
Hold on. What is going on over there with Boozy's kids?
You just said anyone.
Oh my God, your baby just said anyone? I cannot knit, and I am crocheting that baby a pillow that says anyway on it.
Welcome to the fandom, Boozy.
Alright, Legion Buddy.
Hi, Legion Buddy.
Basically, it's Dragget Show, rate my persona, and I'm going to let Pandas do it. Here you go.
Oh, I have to rate it for some.
That's right.
I think you said rape.
Hold on.
Wrong show.
That's what it sounded like. Thank
Oh my
you.
God. So it's this adorable rabbit with all these little splotches on it. I'm wondering if they're Dragget Show splotches. Anyway, it's a rabbit, and it's really cute. It's got little green eyes, and I just think it's adorable. I'm going to give it 8.3.
I think we have a new show. Pandas rates personas.
Really homosexual way.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my God! I give it an 8.5 area.
Pandas, can you come with us to the annual Warhol Museum and rate the paintings?
We will record it.
With the Warhol Army.
I heard rape the paintings.
No, that's
All
not
right.
part of the blood ritual.
I just want to thank all of you out there because we are at the point in our career where one of our friends can create a chat room called The Blood Ritual and immediately it has 10 subscribers. Like, you didn't even think about clicking on that? I love you guys.
I got it.
Did you just join the Blood Ritual?
I joined the blood ritual.
I am doing the blood.
We are so screwed.
Wait, is this announced chat?
Yeah, it's in the Dragget Show program. Alright, out of questions.
We did it! We got through the question!
Still have 17 minutes.
I know.
I have a question.
Since my kids got into it, Xavier, you take 5.
Wait, what? No! Alright, wait, you have a question.
Yeah, I've genuinely been thinking about this whole time. What Muppet is good at sucking dick?
Fozzie, think about it.
No, I want to just point out, now that we know for a fact that the 2-year-old is repeating shit he's hearing on this stage, I am not comfortable with that statement. He goes to daycare and actually,
Fozzie suck dick. Waka waka, that's right.
I will admit, one of my all-time favorites, because I'm a huge fan of The Muppet Show. I don't know if you've ever seen the initial episode of The Muppet Show, but it's one of those jokes that I just found way too funny. And all it is the camera opens on Kermit, there's a glass of milk, he puts his face over the straw and goes, and the milk slowly disappears. And he looks at the camera and goes, think about it. And they just continue on with the show. And as a child, that was the funniest shit I had ever seen.
Okay.
That explains a lot about the show, doesn't it?
Jim Henson was a madman.
Oh, Jim Henson is a god.
He is. One of my favorite Jim Henson quotes to this day is, he just got done making The Dark Crystal, which no one wanted to make. That was his like, oh, he wanted to make it, and everyone's like, it's a terrible idea, the puppets are creepy. He's like, screw you, this is my baby. So he like did it, and he did it well. And after he got done with that crazy fever dream, he went over to his team and he's like, all right guys, let's make a show that will end all war. And they made Fraggle Rock.
Okay.
God, I miss Jim Henson.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's almost 50 people in the blood ritual already.
Yes, soon the blood ritual will be complete. 47 people in the blood ritual. Oh my
I'm joining the blood ritual.
god.
And the background image is the blood moon.
No, it's a giant jawbreaker.
I'll give you a giant job right now.
All right, so since this is our 200th episode, we're gonna go to this a little early and ask for audience questions since you are all so awesome to actually come here. So go ahead and pick on someone else, Mike. Or not.
Picking on the audience. Sorry, I got a convention message that I need
Oh.
to tell them they can't talk to me right now.
All right, Dragget, you do it.
All right, front and center.
Xander, check your telegram, it's on there.
Wait, what?
You got telegrammed a question.
Oh, okay. Is it in the blood ritual?
No, it's actually a private message and
Oh, it's
in
to
the
me.
direct chat.
Oh, yes. Okay, I got it. Okay. Got a cake-related question. I make something called crap cake, which is vanilla cake with strawberry filling and homemade buttercream icing, all from scratch. What would your crap cake be?
Mine would be adding.
We're in Chicago!
Mine would be adding powdered sugar. Wink.
What just happened? He asked fearfully.
Your 2-year-old just keeps saying blood, blood, blood.
Guys, the spotlights are on the wrong people. We need to be over there.
I can seriously imagine a 2-year-old.
I hope my children enjoy Thanksgiving.
Well, apparently my crap cake would be covered in blood!
Did we not say cracks now?
If he starts swearing, I'm peeing myself.
Alright, so Xander, what is your crap cake?
That is my crack cake.
I don't know, cake covered in chippies, of course. I wouldn't stop eating it, of course. What? Chris?
My crack cake? I don't know. All the cake in my fridge combined?
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry guys.
Convention stuff.
Convention stuff. Alright, we're just gonna go to question. Sorry. You pick on something.
Alright, I see behind Sarathan a hand person. Yeah,
It's
that.
really hard to see up here. Sorry guys.
I have a question specifically for Boozy.
Yes.
How do you feel that instead of watching Teen Titans Go, Steven Universe, or Gravity Falls, that your children are watching the Dragon show?
You know, 30 minutes ago, all of a sudden couldn't do any harm.
How do you feel about that now?
You guys understand? That baby does not talk that much. He points and he grunts. So I'm really happy that he chose the last 45 minutes to decide to become really verbal. They're going to visit my parents in like a week. This is going to be an interesting phone call from my mom.
What would you like to eat, sweetie? You say blood orange. Blood orange. What do you find it?
Two guys fucking. That one was pretty cool.
Oh, no, this, you need your next set of t-shirt just has to be the word anyway scrawled in white lettering.
No!
And glow in the dark.
No!
Yeah.
Patreon level. Okay, no, no, no.
Is this higher than the chicken or not?
I don't know. Dragger, keep another hand. I'm sorry.
Alright, so there's a hand wobbling with a set of ears all the way in back, like straight. Yeah, you. You're a silhouette with some ears. I have no idea who or what you are.
Tell me on this.
Wait a second. Teenage daughter, why are you in the blood ritual chat room? Fuck it, you guys just adopted my children.
I've always wanted a daughter.
Is that how that works? I don't think you just...
New Patreon level. children.
Hold on, is our new Patreon channel, we will adopt your children? That better at least be like, what, 25 bucks? How much do children cost? Lawyer.
How much do they cost? 25? Yeah, that's exactly what they cost. Get the papers ready. Go free.
Okay. What is your question? Shout it out.
Last night at the horror show, the horror convention stories, someone asked why Bad Dragon wasn't in the stores anymore. And then they listed off the law for like why there's only like 5 special stores. And here's my question for Boozy. If they can't have like, we only have like 5 special stores, why is Spencer getting away with selling those kind of things around children?
Huh. That's a really clever question.
One, it's all about packaging and labeling. Like, no shit, it really is.
Wow.
It's why, like, for the longest time, Rite Aid would not carry sex toys, but they would carry pocket massagers. The second part is state laws vary from state to state. There's places like Alabama where no shit, you can't sell sex toys, period. It's illegal to sell. You can't sell it. So they brand them as other things. Number 3.
So you can't sell cucumbers?
Yeah, number 3.
I was a teenager.
Why am I getting the dildo question?
Because Xander is not in the industry to answer it?
Do they sell condoms in the sausage casing aisle?
I mean, if they don't, they're missing a major marketing scheme.
Okay.
Back to the audience, we're still looking for, we have the last 8 minutes of the show. I've got dead center right here. You've got your hand, yes, go ahead.
So Kage goes to every single convention, right?
Not quite. He goes to a lot.
A lot of them. When you're there at the convention, does everyone come to him for your shenanigans? Or is it just Kage just bleeds attention?
Let me break character entirely for 1 second. I want everyone to remember one thing. If you've been in the fandom as long as some of us have, that joke we make about those stupid MTV shows and all of that, unfortunately, that's what the public thought about the fandom for a long time. Uncle Kage is the gentleman who came out there, had the means and the intelligence to take this fandom to the next level. He made a convention that is so ingrained in the community, and this is 100% true, that when they first came here, this picketing that you're hearing about, that would have been about the convention. And in 2 years, not only had all of that stopped, but he was so ingrained in the community that Anthrocon is actually labeled as one of the top 50 things you should do before you die. Wow. As long as I live, I will be an understudy to one of the greatest men that I know, and that is the man who made the fandom that I covet, the fandom that I love, into the fandom that it is today. And no matter what happens in the future, I will always remember that Uncle Kage was at the forefront of the battle to show the world, no, we're not insane, creepy things. We're normal people who have found a community that everyone is jealous about.
We got more official things going on.
Okay, let's put a stop to this right now. We are not sacrificing Boozy's child in the blood ritual.
Sacrifice the baby!
No, what? You are not what? You need to talk to your wife.
The best part is there are 2 blood ritual channels right now. Duking it out.
Yeah. One of them is very quiet, the other one has proclaimed my toddler to be the chosen one.
There's the 2, there's the blood ritual. The blood ritual.
The problem is like normally I laugh, but I'm completely aware how far you motherfuckers will take a joke. So I'm actually somewhat frightened that by tomorrow morning there will be a legitimate religion built around my toddler.
The blood ritual. Is there a panel in here after us?
Yeah.
What time?
10:30, Fox and Pepper.
We have,
They want us to
we have
move
4
our
minutes.
butts.
We have 4 minutes.
4 minutes. So,
Unless you guys have something to say, we go back to the audience.
yeah, absolutely. I can't see.
What?
One over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you person. You have a. Is that a Pokeball on your head?
Yes, it is Pokeball in my head.
Okay.
Oh my God, like the STDs, you gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch 'em all. Who's that Pokemon?
I'm getting laid.
What do you got, buddy?
Okay, since this is the 200th episode, aside from Boozy's kids, who do you think the next generation of the Dragon Show podcast will be? Who would your successor be?
Honestly, I think one of them is sitting at the table right now. Chris the Comedy Bunny has been doing some amazing things for the fandom, and it was actually a wonderful moment when I realized that he could join us on stage. He's been doing a lot of stand-up with me. He's been doing some amazing things. So, Chris, once you murder me, you can have the show.
Don't sell me too high. I still told the story of some other people fucking it wrong.
Welcome to the Bunda show. That's Bunny and Panda together.
Hold on. If he really wants to get this done, I'm just gonna wake up one day. Our house is full of cake!
That's the prop cake.
And alkalize is like Pac-Man.
Oh my God, he ate a key, a pretzel, the cake. I'll bet some of you have played Pac-Man. Thank you. The key, it's the
Because he's the cake expert.
He is a cake expert!
And that cake is not a lie.
God damn it.
Whose cherries does he eat?
Oh, man.
I saw questions way over there. Who had their hand up way over there? Yes, go ahead, standing up.
Here's a good question about the 200th episode.
Sure.
You guys said that you were going to do all these different things for the 200th episode, but why didn't any of you, especially you, Alkali, say drink?
Because I was asked by Kage to behave, and in my mind, this is behaving.
Okay.
Please share that with the Dragget Show chat.
What?
They might have made an icon for the blood ritual. All right, hold on.
Oh my God!
Guys, my favorite word, guys.
Robots.
We have 2 minutes left on the 200th episode, so here we go. 199 episodes. This guy came to me and said, I really want to start a podcast. And I had no intention of doing anything but like, sure, we'll sit down for the week that it takes us to get bored of this shit. And then it turned into this. This show has gotten me some of my best friends in the world. And I am sitting with a bunch of them right now on a stage at Anthrocon in front of this many people. I am sitting in front of people that I consider some of the best people in the world, some of the most generous people in the world. And they're sitting in the room with me, listening to us talk about the goddamn blood ritual and destroying his child's psyche. My friends have gotten together, my roommates give up their weekends sometimes and make these shows happen. Xander has spent more hours than I will ever be able to calculate. I'm making those shows happen and including, and this is 100% true, doing a show that in the beginning he had no intention of doing. Dungeons and Dragons, he did not like D&D, but because it was a dream of mine, he sat down and we are now on our almost 20th episode of Dungeons and Dragons that we air online on Sundays. This show, I don't want to say it changed my life because that doesn't put it in perspective. The show has made me a better person. I'm happier, and I owe that to you guys and to you guys. We're at 200 episodes, and I love you so much for letting me do this. So the following week's coming up, we're gonna have more firesides, we're gonna have more of our normal show, we're gonna try to put out more episodes for you. But because of this show, 3 of the most talented people in the fandom, Fox, Pepper, and Dixie, are going to be showing up at my house, and they are allowing us to share with you guys the unveiling of #2, the Kickstarter for #2. Please join us next weekend on Saturday for a traditional fireside cast with some of the most amazing people I know, Fox, Pepper, and Dixie, and a slew of special guests while we celebrate not only their CD, but what I consider the fandom, the most talented people in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for 200 episodes.
I'm Chris the Comedy Bunny.
Over here!
You have destroyed my family.
Over here!
I am Dragor.
Over here!
Hi, everyone.
Right here!
Next week on YouTube, be there, guys. I'm Xander.
I'm Alkali. 200 episodes and good night.